One of the reasons that The Conjuring was so successful is that it depicts a real-life case of the supernatural, ripped from the files of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Why do you think Warner Brothers was so eager to get the film rights to their life story and took such care in getting the first film adaptation just right? Because nothing is more terrifying than something that actually happened. Now, of course, all ghost stories claim to be real, but the Warrens definitely add an air of authenticity, which has helped at the box office, first with The Conjuring and then the spin-off movie Annabelle. In fact, the doll Annabelle really does sit in the Warrens' occult museum still to this day, held in check by various blessings and religious symbols. However, since the Warrens are rock stars when it comes to the paranormal, many of their cases have already been unofficially adapted for the big screen, in particular the Amityville Horror and The Haunting in Connecticut. So, for The Conjuring 2, Warner Brothers and James Wan have decided to go with a real-life case which stumped not just the Warrens, but the entire supernatural community, the Enfield poltergeist. In fact, many professional paranormal investigators believe the Enfield poltergeist was a hoax. So it'll be interesting to see if Wan factors that into The Conjuring 2. So, what happened? Well, in August 1977 in Enfield, England, single mom Peggy Hodgson called police to report strange goings-on in the home she'd rented for herself and her 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. In fact, they were terrified as things moved around the house, and 11-year-old Janet seemed possessed at times by a foul-mouthed old man who'd once lived there, Bill Wilkins. As the disturbances continued, several professional paranormal investigators came to investigate and promptly began to argue over what they'd found. Several investigators felt it was the 2 girls, Margaret and Janet, playing tricks, while others felt that while the girls were contributing to the disturbances, most of them were genuine. Ed Warren went one step further, declaring that the girls were contributing to the disturbances, but because they themselves were possessed. After all, it is reasonable to assume that their original idea to pretend that they had a poltergeist attracted one for real. The girls had even admitted to playing with a Ouija board before the haunting began. But then again, many in the paranormal community don't hold the Warrens in as high regard as Warner Brothers does. Still, the Enfield poltergeist, real or not, attracted a ton of media attention at the time, with the BBC coming to interview the family. And even today, the Enfield poltergeist remains a well-known case in British paranormal lore. From a film perspective, it's a gold mine. This case takes place in 1970s England, features not just the Warrens but other investigators, explores the pros and cons